Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's a filmmaker, she's a writer, a director, a producer. She's my friend Keycha V. Dorsey's in the studio. You're going to hear her amazing story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, my next guest, her story is one of resilience and unwavering faith. Keycha V. Dorsey is in the studio. She's a filmmaker, writer, director, and producer. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Honored to be here.
Well, likewise. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did this start for you?
Well, as far as being in acting and modeling, I started pretty late, but I'm a big believer in God's season. I try not to focus on my age because I just made 24, December 14th. And so I just look at it as it's God's timing. I think it's always been something in me that wanted to act. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of TV and I would find myself saying, you know, I could do that role. I could play that part. And so God opened the opportunity for me this time, I think around about last year, that I started like kind of doing research and things like that about acting and modeling. And Miss Nisi Dobbins gave me my first acting opportunity. And that was this past, I believe it was either June or July, in her stage play. And so I was a background person, but then she also allowed me the opportunity to host. And so it's been spiraling ever since then, like just one door open, the next door open. And so I look at those platforms as opportunities to also share the love of Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm.
We're going to pull up your IMDb, and as we pull that up, I want you to talk more about your career. Where do you see this all headed?
Well, what I do now at this, stage in my life, everything I do is for my son's future. And so not only do I want to act, I want to build a financial platform at some particular time, hopefully sooner rather than later, so that I can begin to add, to his future. Because I don't know, I want to see him graduate high school, college, be married, have children, but we all know tomorrow's not promised. And so I would like to see this eventually turn into something that's, financially fitting for my son's future.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Since we're talking about your son, you wrote a book.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and hold that up and talk about the book.
Well, this book, The Adventures of Little Peanut and TJ, you can find it on Amazon. I was inspired by God to write this story. Me and my son actually wrote the story. It is about something happy, receiving God's peace, his joy when he sends it to you. And so the book is about my son that my husband and I lost in 2015. It was a stillbirth. We had him cremated. And so in the book, he's in heaven. And so our son that we have now, little Trent, he's still here, but the loss of the stillbirth damaged the father so much that he lost all sense of joy, hope, living life. And so our son has to go into heaven to get the angel, TJ, to come back and save their dad from the land called sad. So,
wow. Mm-hmm. Wow, turning pain into purpose. You've also been featured in the media. I want you to hold up this magazine.
Yes.
So it's called Pretty Woman Hustle.
Yes.
Tell us more about this article.
Well, I also write for them now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes. And so that's me. Delayed, not denied. Keycha Dorsey, Miracle Journey. This is another platform that God has given me to share of His grace, His goodness, His perfect season. I try not to look at age. I try not to look at, oh, you should be here by now. But it's all about God's season. And so I've been able to share that in this article, Pretty Women Hustle.
Wow. We're going to show a photo. I think this came off of Pretty Women Hustle's Facebook page. That's a beautiful picture of you. And tell us what you want people to get from your story.
What I want people to learn from me is that in my story and my testimony is that if there is something that you are believing God for, don't stop believing God for it. Continue to thank Him for it also, not just believing for it, but thank Him for it, not just in having a child, but if it's anything that you believe that God has put in your heart, continue to thank Him for it, believe Him for it. And while you're waiting on Him to bring those things to fruition, because it's not that we wait, it's how we wait. And so continue to wait on God in joy. Wait on Him by serving other people. We wait, W-A-I-T, on God by waiting on other people, by serving them. So what I've learned is that if I take my focus off of what Keycha wants and pour into somebody else, it makes the journey a little bit easier. So I would want people to take that and run with it.
So, Keycha, we have about a minute left. So why don't you look into the camera on the left and talk to the person who's really struggling and their faith is being tested.
What I want to say to you is that God loves you. What I want to say to you is that He doesn't love one person any more than He loves the one that's up here. Stay focused on Him. Don't trust people. Trust God with the people. Trust God with the situation. And continue to believe that better, greater is sooner, not later.
What a beautiful way to end this segment. We're also going to leave you with the Amazon page in which you can buy the book. Keycha V. Dorsey, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yes.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.